Well, it's always good to get to this point in the week, and certainly when it's the first week to get this thing going. So I've liked the way the guys have prepared, and you know, finish that up meetings today, and then get on the plane tomorrow, and first game, and excited, obviously, to find out more about our team. But I like what they've done, and first games are always a test, and we're going up against, I think, a very talented South Florida team, and so we've got to be ready to go. But it's good the season's here. All right.
Home openers are always special, but away openers, especially season openers, also carry with it a certain special feeling. What's so unique about starting a season on the road versus, let's say, at home?
Well, I think there's always the excitement of the first game, and these kids spend so much time preparing for the season, and when it finally comes, there's an excitement to it, and I think it's as a player, as a coach, whatever is on the schedule, you're going to turn that into, this is the best thing for this team, and I'm excited. I like this team, and they're a close team, and to be able to go on the road, and we are going to be challenged, and we're going to have to earn everything that we get, and yet when you go on the road, anytime it's tough, and whether you open with it or middle of the season, I don't know, but I like going anywhere with this team.
Well, I think initially you thought of maybe doing something indoors here to try to get them used to humidity. And did you guys decide not to do that?
Correct.
Okay. Do you want to avoid them from thinking about that too much? Like, oh my God, it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, or?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to probably this year face all different types of weather conditions or things outside your control. It is a real thing, right? And we've got to make sure that we do all that we can in preparing for it. But I think you've got to embrace it, and we've got to, every time you go on the road, if you're on that travel squad, you're going for a reason, and that reason is to contribute and to play, and everyone's got to be ready to go, and everyone's got to do their part. And but it will be, there's a chance, I should say, for it being a real factor, and we've got to be able to manage it, and the kids have to manage it and make the best of it.
In terms of managing it, pre-game, it's been the hydration plan that you guys. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's hydration. The things that try to focus on and be really good at all the things you control, and hydration certainly is a big part of it. And really that had to start a couple days ago, right? You don't want to play catch up either at the end, and then making sure that you're getting your rest. And right now it's a good time because we don't have school, so they have time to do that. It's eating right. It's making sure, I think the guys feel good and they've gotten their legs back, from camp and whatnot. But then there's going to be something we couldn't simulate here, and that's the possible heat and humidity, and we've got to I think we got to embrace it and certainly be aware of it. But whatever it is, we got to find a way to be productive in it.
You had a tight kicking contest between Hintz and Larch. And obviously Zach has the stronger leg. Is it possible for long field that we may see Hintz out there just in?
Yeah, there's always a chance. We had that really the last couple of years, with that, and I don't know. I think he does have probably if you're going to say you got one chance from a really long range, there's a chance that Zach would probably be the best suited for that. But I like what Colin's done, and they had a nice competition, and really it started in the spring and went all through fall camp. But you know what, Colin's been consistent. We got a number of guys that'll be their first, right? And they've got to be able to handle it. And you don't know if it's going to be a field goal. You don't know if it's going to be an extra point. But it's it's always one of interesting, and when you look back at it, hopefully fun things about a first game is there's guys that will get their first opportunities to play.
Do first games have a lot of surprises, or do they typically carry over from what you've seen in practice?
No, I think that there's there's the element of surprises. You don't really know what you're going to get from your opponent. That's one. You hope that you don't have a lot of surprises within your own players. You've got an idea, but there is an excitement. And games are different than practice, and you hope that at some point the game settles down and they can kind of go back and rely on and trust what they do and have been doing. But it's as a coach, you want to try to minimize, the number of surprises, but first game you're probably going to get more than, most other games.
Well, you have co-backup quarterbacks listed in the event that
Yeah.
something could happen and you need one of them. Who do you go to, or how do you make that decision?
Yeah, they'll both be ready.
Paul, how much, not that you're going to answer the question, but last year you tried to get Jack a red shirt.
Right.
And you play around with that. Is that in your head when it comes time to the Chase or Graham
Yeah,
decision?
not yet. I think probably for all those that end up redshirting, there comes a point where, all right, let's see how this plays out. Last year at this time, Travion Blaylock, we were going all in, and he was going to go the whole season. Then he, kind of had the injury. Reggie Pearson was one that, played early. So I think you kind of get a gauge for how it's going to play out. The first thing is, are they at a point where they can contribute and play, and where you can project, they're going to get, over 100 snaps or whatever that is. Then you say, okay, this is pretty good. Good use of a year. And I think a lot of that, what Sitch went through, it kind of made me rethink a lot of it. That, he played his first year and then redshirted his second, and then played a year, and then played half a year, and then missed his senior year. That's 2.5 out of 5. So I think if a guy is ready to play and can contribute and get meaningful snaps, you play him. And then I think there comes a point, Jim, where you go, okay, now is it worth going on and getting those, playing in that 5th game, for instance. And you try to assess it best you can.
Well, Danny Davis missed time in fall camp. Is he back, and how's he looked?
Yeah, he's been good. He's back and has had a good week and moving around good. So he's been good.
When it comes to Luke Benchwell, I know Malcolm is out. Is there a time frame as to how long he may be out?
It'll be a little bit of a time, but we'll kind of gauge it and see. Probably next week or two, you get a better feel for how much time it'll be.